Okay, so welcome back. I know it ain't been that long, but whatever. I did find the video from my last video. Young lady that he had went on the date with or went to go visit. Her name is Risk.net. Apparently, it was in the comments, and I just did not search hard enough. But I found it. Let's watch it and react and see if Jourdan or Risk, like, whose side is we on. But thank y'all for coming back again. Whatever two people watched that other one, stay and watch this one too. Hmm.
Out of my apartment last night because he made a content video about me while he was still staying with me. And that was just my final straw. I honestly had the most uncomfortable and weird experience with this guy from start to finish. I've been messaging on TikTok, Instagram.
Okay, so already we get a little nugget here that about the her putting him out and him just leaving or whatever. She's upset about a video he made while they were still on their date or visiting each other, whatever.
FaceTiming for a couple of months and I truly wasn't feeling the vibe, but we just so happened to both be in New York City at the same time. So I was like, since we're both here, I might as well meet up with you and get a drink. Met up, I was actually really surprised that we hit it off. I had a really good time with him. We spent like 7 or 8 hours together in the city and we really enjoyed each other's company. At the end of the night, we were like, when are we going to see each other again? And he was like, next weekend you can come visit me. Then the following weekend I'll go visit you. And then the third weekend you can go to a festival with me. All of my friends are going and I would love if you joined us. Like, yeah, that sounds like a great plan. I would love to do that. I go back home and I'm thinking that I'm going to go to his city to visit him, and I would normally get a hotel room when I'm visiting someone. But instead, he starts planning his trip to come visit me in my city and is talking about staying with me in my apartment. And I was like, yeah.
And again, like I said in his video, that just don't sound safe for either one of y'all.
Yeah, that's fine. But I pushed back a couple of times because I was like, I would rather go visit you. That's what we had originally talked about. But he was pretty adamant about coming to stay with me in my city. Plan was that he was going to stay with me from Friday to Monday. But as we're getting closer to Friday, the night before, I was getting anxious. I was like, I've never had a man come stay with me in my apartment. I don't really feel so comfortable about this. So I texted him and I was like, maybe you should get a hotel. That's important to note is that one of his most viral videos on TikTok is a story time about how he met a girl on TikTok, flew out to see her. She ended up being a con artist and she lied about all of these things, lied about having cancer and got a GoFundMe, all of these things. So he was like, that's really weird that you just asked me to get a hotel.
Oh, listen, I know who we talk about. This is all this stuff is falling into like stuff I watch. That's Elizabeth Teckenbrock. Or Elizabeth, as my beautiful Chelsea calls her. I love Chelsea. If y'all don't watch Chelsea's channel, go watch it. I'm sure y'all probably will never see this, but whatever. I love me some Chelsea.
Because that's exactly what happened with the last girl that I flew out to see. So I feel uncomfortable now. Like, I wasn't even thinking about that TikTok. It wasn't even on my radar, but I didn't want him to feel uncomfortable or unwelcome. So I ended up giving in and letting him come stay with me in my place. Before he came, he was already mentioning money all the time. He was talking about how there was only Frontier or Spirit flights available and how the United flight was $600 one way. He was talking about the price of a table and a dinner, and he was complaining about money, and it just made me uncomfortable because why are you telling me about these things? Like, if you can't afford something, don't do it. Anyways, he ends up flying Frontier, and I go and pick him up from the airport. Before I picked him up, I did a background check on him, and he told me he was a luxury real estate agent. He's only ever sold 9 houses on record, and the last house that he sold was in January of 2025. Anyways,
Now, wait a minute though. But if he's a luxury retailer, re- real estate broker, he may have only needed to sell 9 houses. I don't know how much did them houses cost that he sold. Like, what was those? What did those commissions look like? Maybe he's frugal and good with his money, and if they cost enough, like I don't. And then wait a minute, hold on. We're gonna back up just a little bit because you just said you don't like him talking to you about money, but then you bring up his profession and how much money that you think that he may not have made because he's only sold 9 houses. We gotta pick a side. We gotta pick a side. He was at least consistent. You gotta pick a side.
I pick him up from the airport on Friday. I was exhausted from the work week, so I ended up going to sleep by like 9 p.m. He said I was snoring within 5 minutes. Saturday, our plans were to go to dinner and go out with some of my girlfriends. At the end of the dinner, the check comes and he puts his card down and it gets declined. It only got partially approved. The total was 225. The dinner got approved for 160 on his card and he had to use another card. But
That is completely different than what Jordan said. And there if your bank cuts you off, like I said in the other video, if you travel a lot, you know that your bank will cut you off if you use it in one zip code and then you use it in another zip code that's far away within a a day span because they're preventing fraud. So, but they're not going to partially approve anything. You may get a couple of transactions to go through before they catch it and cut your stuff off, but you're going to get embarrassed and not because it's not going to go through for a portion of it. So that's how much he had on that card at that time, and then the rest of it got declined. That's why he needed to use another card. So these stories are coming together.
Just something to note. But with my friends, we have a decent time. At the end of the night, a handful of people came over to my apartment to continue drinking and hanging out. And I was tired. It was like 3 a.m. and I wanted to go to bed and Irish exit my own apartment. So he came in there and he asked me, can I sleep naked? And I was like, no, that's weird. That's gross. I don't want you to sleep naked in my bed. So he went to go get his pajamas. He comes back and my girlfriend comes with him and I'm in the middle of the bed.
He thought that he was getting some cookie, okay? That's why he wanted to be naked.
My girlfriend is on the right of the bed and then he's on this side of me. And I realized he gets in the bed naked. And I was like, what the fuck? Get dressed. I told you I don't want you sleeping naked in my bed. And now my friend is in the bed with us. Anyways, we order McDonald's. It's chill.
He thought he was about to have him a great night. Not a good one, but a great one. Wow.
It's like 4 a.m. at this point. We're eating the McDonald's and I look over and he has a hot buffalo sauce and he dips his finger in the sauce and licks it. And I was like, ew, that's fucking disgusting. That night, he was like, I really want to make out with you. And I was like, ugh, that was literally my reaction. And I was like, I don't like to make out with people. You know, I don't like tongues. They gross me out.
I'm also that girl though. Like, I do not like kissing. If I kiss you, I really, really enjoy you. Kissing is intimate. And people's mouths is nasty. I'm sorry. That may sound off to some people, but the older you get, I think you'll understand. But kissing is very intimate, and I've been saying this since I was in high school. Like, I do not kiss people. Like, no.
Not a big maker outer. And he was like, that's really weird. Like, I've never had that problem in relationships before. And I was like, but I didn't want to make out with you, dude. There was no physical compatibility. I wasn't feeling the vibes, so I didn't want to kiss him. Day rolls around and we didn't do anything. I end up sleeping on the couch for like 4 hours while he watched football, and he asks me, can I end up leaving Tuesday instead of Monday? And in my head, I was like, why would you want to stay? We're not hitting it off. This isn't what we thought it would be. But I was like, sure. So on Monday, I work all day, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. He's in my guest room, like making little content videos or whatever the fuck. At the end of the day, Monday, I'm already fed up with this because I'm like, you're overstaying your welcome. You were supposed to leave today, but I was like, get through the night. He's going to leave in the morning, whatever. It's almost over. Sitting on the couch and we're both on our phones and a video pops up from his feed and he's talking and he's like, what's the weirdest thing you've ever had happen to you when you're dating someone? I once dated a girl who hates kissing. She thought that making out was disgusting. And he starts going on a rant and I'm like, I literally verbatim just said this to you this weekend. And I was like, is this video about me? And he was like, no, I got the idea from ChatGPT. And I was like, so now you're not only going to make a video about me in my own house, you're also going to lie to me and say that it wasn't about me.
Jourdan, you gotta go. You gotta go. Y'all both knew that y'all didn't like each other. Why did we try to make this happen? It's not. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
Denying that it was even about me. At the end of the video, he like fabricates an ending. 70% of the video was about how I don't like making out, and then the ending, he like made up some TikTok story time to like make content, I guess. At this point, I'm so fed up with this guy. I'm not having a good time. And I was just like, this is so disrespectful. You're going to make a video about me under the roof of my own home when you're a guest staying with me. And so I was like, you need to leave. I was like, you have a flight the next morning. You need to get a hotel and leave tomorrow. He's 37 years old, by the way. And he was like, you have anger problems. And I was like, no, you have a respect issue. Anyways, he leaves and he immediately blocks me on TikTok and on Instagram. After he gets his stuff and leaves, I end up having 2 of my friends come over and stay with me because I didn't know where he was going. I didn't know if he was going to come back and knock on the door. I was just super uncomfortable, like, get out of my house. And the reason I didn't want to post this video was for 2 reasons. Is one, because I obviously made mistakes. I shouldn't have let him come stay with me. I shouldn't have met up with someone who's a content creator in the first place. But the second reason is because he's clearly a liar. I've seen him lie to my face multiple times, like all these different white lies. And I also see him lie on the internet all the time. So I don't know what the fuck he's going to say about me on the internet, but I also don't care because this is what happened. And it was one of the weirdest experiences ever. So if we learn anything from this, it's that you can't trust everything you hear on the internet, and you probably shouldn't meet up with people on the internet. And if someone is feeling and acting weird and talking about weird things, they're weird and you shouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt. And that's the lesson I learned. Would never do it again.
Now, Marissa, Yeah, you're right. You did a whole lot of stuff wrong here. Y'all both was wrong. Y'all knew y'all didn't like each other from what y'all are saying. So I don't understand how this meeting even took place. Um, there's always three sides to a story, her side, his side, and the truth in this one. And I think that we have deciphered a little bit of the truth here. They were talking, they met up in New York, they decided to meet up again, even though they didn't like each other, which did not make any type of sense. Both of y'all, you wanted something from him, you wanted clout off of him, it seems. He wanted cookie from you. He came to see you despite the fact that he knew that you wanted clout and money because you said that your love language is cash. Like, and then he basically tries to call you a whore. Um, you get him to take your friends out, which is nice. He tries to get into bed with you and your friends because he thinks y'all owe him that. And then he makes a video about you and you put him out when y'all never should have been in the vicinity of each other in the first place. Uh Make Shane. Y'all could have kept this one a secret because y'all both is just lying. I mean, let's bring Shane back. Like, no, or we can just don't keep secrets because I enjoy watching y'all mess. People's mess is very much so entertaining. But that is the the sequel, or I guess it would have been the prequel to the drama from the Jourdan video. You can go watch these in whatever order you want, but yeah, I watched Jordan's first and hers second, and I disagree with both of y'all. Y'all both was stupid. I ain't on nobody's side. Y'all both was dumb as hell. Whatevs. But thank my two followers for sticking around and watching the video with me. I appreciate it. Love you guys. Bye.